So, effective immediately, it is no longer permitted to buy, sell, transport, import, or use military-grade assault weapons in this country.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any more disturbing, just when you thought this new world order couldn't get any more disgusting, here they come with a Gladio B event in the middle of this crisis, and they slaughter a bunch of innocent people using a police car. They say some citizen just happened to have a police car, started pulling people over, killing people, burning shit down. And miraculously and on cue, here comes the Prime Minister of Canada, unilaterally confiscating everybody's assault weapons like a good little communist sympathizer. It's terrible to see how unfree our fellow English-speaking countries can be. They have no Bill of Rights, no real constitution. They're not even republics. They don't vote for these sinisters that take their rights away. Just like we don't vote for our elected officials. They're pre-selected. It's just this little club, and you're not in it. And you have no way of getting true representation. But they will slaughter you. They will kill you. They will unleash their virus, ladies and gentlemen. And we're getting some real damning information about this Wuhan supervirus. Pay attention.
There is no question that there will be a challenge to the coming administration in the arena of infectious diseases, both chronic infectious diseases in the sense of already ongoing disease, and we have certainly a large burden of that. But also there will be a surprise outbreak. There will be a surprise outbreak. There will be a...
If this laboratory turns out to be the place where the virus came from, we paid for it. We paid for the damn virus that's killing us.
There is no question that
we paid for the virus that is currently circulating in this country. This Wuhan supervirus was paid for and directed by Dr. Fauci. That's what we're learning. That $3.7 million wasn't just to fund the lab. It was to fund research on a coronavirus with gain of function. This is incredible, incredibly criminal, because the person that unleashed this virus is responsible for the response. It's like a serial killer showing up at the crime scene, observing the investigators. This guy has placed himself right where he needs to be, like Dr. Evil. And this is why Brad Pitt gave this, huge homage to Dr. Fauci, a lifelong Democrat. We've covered that in the video archives. You definitely want to check that out. This is Stranger Than Fiction News, broadcasting live. The only real news out there. The rest of it is they live, for the most part. And we're learning more today about the nature of this virus. Pay attention.
And what gives you a high degree of confidence that this originated from the Wuhan Institute of Virology?
I can't tell you that. I'm not allowed to tell you that.
Oh, he's not allowed to tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, here's more.
Have you seen anything at this point that gives you a high degree of confidence that the Wuhan Institute of Virology was the origin of this virus?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Yes, so this virus originated from a lab. It's a bioweapon. It's been crossed with HIV and rabies. It's out to kill you. It's out to get you. They let it in. They knew about this in November. They were warning fellow NATO countries in November of an outbreak in Wuhan. They were warning themselves, but they didn't warn you. They didn't order masks. They didn't build hospitals. They didn't help people protect themselves at all. They betrayed you. And you have to wonder, why are we paying these people all of this money to take away our rights and let people get infected, let people get killed with their Gladio B events? Because they have an agenda, and that agenda, ladies and gentlemen, is Agenda 21. It's the Georgia Guidestones. They want to take your guns. They want to kill you. They want to turn the country into a communist country. And you just couldn't make this stuff up. These people are the enemy of the Republic, and everyone has an obligation, a duty to stand up to this tyranny. Ladies and gentlemen, right now in California, we've got some protests going on at the Capitol. They want their freedoms back. Everybody wants their freedoms back, and you know, the worst is yet to come. You think it might be over, but this is only going to get worse. These people are all in. They've all been exposed as being part of this plandemic, whether it be the White House, whether it be the news media, whether it be other government agencies and the like. In other NATO countries, it was the exact same thing. These people are all in it together like a bunch of Charlie Manson groupies. And you can show up at the Capitol and beg for your rights back. You're not getting them back. They're going to continue to fluoridate you, vaccinate you, irradiate you, and kill you. Because that's who these people are. They're mass murderers. They're tyrants and the like. And they've destroyed this country. They've killed it, ladies and gentlemen. And you just don't know it yet. But you'll figure it out eventually. And when you do, you won't be just showing up at this Capitol holding signs. You'll be holding rope. You'll be bringing the guillotine. You'll be bringing your guns, ladies and gentlemen. If the First Amendment won't do it, the Second Amendment surely will. We've got lots of news to cover, but beware of these communist sympathizers out there. They run the government. They run the mainstream news. And check out the checkered floors. I mean, at every government building, it's all got checkered floors. It's part of the Freemasonry. These are all Freemasonic temples. And all of these politicians are pre-selected priests of the occult. And they're holding this country hostage. Ladies and gentlemen, 322, Skull and Bones. They're holding this country hostage. You have to take it back. These are all of the vaccines a child receives by the age of 2. You starting to get the picture why children are autistic? You can't imagine the damage that does, ladies and gentlemen. Trudeau gave $830,000 for COVID research to the same laboratory suspected of kicking off the pandemic. So the entire New World Order was funding this. They let it in. They're running Gladio B events. They're taking your rights. They're declaring themselves wartime presidents. They're faking getting infected, like Trudeau and Johnson. They're faking it. They've got the vaccine. That's why Pence, showed up at the Mayo Clinic without a mask. We know numerous people have walked into the White House positive, COVID positive, but they're not worried about it. They've got the vaccine. They've got the treatment. Redfield is as bad as Fauci. These two work together. Remember, all the tests, all the CDC tests were contaminated with the virus. They sent out the virus to every hospital. They were part of this outbreak. They facilitated it. And it's like, some kind of novel, some kind of, science fiction movie. Like Contagion. And it's pretty much like Contagion, ladies and gentlemen. Check out this homemade ICBM. Won't be long before people are just dropping shit all over. Pardon the language there. But as you can see, high degree of, accuracy and stability. It looks like it might crash or whatever. No, it's going to come back and do, an Elon Musk. Remember, Elon Musk is shooting up the Death Star satellite grid to blast you with the 5G. Look at this thing. And homemade, it looks like. Looks like everybody will be able to, build their own ICBM soon, 3D print it, and the like. Here's, a nice little example of what we're dealing with out there, men. You know what I mean? Just when you thought you were the crazy one, right? Just when you thought like you were the one that was the troublemaker. No. Oh no. These girls are up to bad news. Check this out. Somewhere in Africa, they managed to take out what looks like an armored truck. Totally pillaged it. Could be an MRAP, could be the liquidation crew, the goon squad coming to a neighborhood near you to enforce their new restrictions. They better bring the minigun, ladies and gentlemen. You better have yours as well. It's what we need. We all need a minigun. Lots of cruel and unusual things going on in the world right now under the cover of this crisis, this plandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, very interesting interview here by Next Television, and paints the picture well. We know that Fauci, Redfield were key facilitators of this outbreak in the research, the funding, as well as letting it in the back door, covering it up, sending faulty tests, giving bad advice to the president. They're all Democrat operatives working for the Hillary Biden camp. Trudeau, again, has just banned all assault weapons in the middle of a pandemic. And doesn't seem like anybody got the vote on that. They probably don't have a right to it. And they've been working at this for quite some time. And every other time there was some kind of, Gladio B event, everybody was on it, exposing it. But this time there wasn't a whole lot of attention paid to what happened there, except they were just rerunning this on Canadian television 24/7, and now people are applauding their capitulation, raising the white flag. California governor releases 7 high-level sex offenders as he criminalizes beach attendants. Bunch of Charlie Manson groupies. Could be your neighbor, could be your plumber, could be the teacher, the electrician coming at your door, and the like. Of course, we're on the backup channel on the ScrewTube. Be sure to find all of that on our Twitter page or on our website, stfnreport.com. You can send us messages now on the Twitter feed. That's pretty much the only way to get a hold of us. Be sure to do that. If you got tips, you want to help out, participate. Cell towers set on fire north of Montreal. So it looks like Canada's big time in the news today. Another tower goes up in smoke, and they're just flaming up everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't imagine why, with all of the cancer clusters at schools and the obvious propaganda. I mean, if you do a search right now on 5G, most of it is hardcore fluff propaganda, just hardcore libtards, telling you how wonderful the radiation is. But most people don't want this. They want to opt out. They want a vote. They want to say. They don't want this thing parked in their neighborhood. They don't want this thing parked in their town. And you should continue to raise awareness on 5G, the bioinitiative safety standards, the studies that go along with that, the Interphone study, a big government study that proves that this type of radiation causes cancer. It's harmful to human health, and people should be able to opt out. Absolutely. Again, we're broadcasting live on the backup channel. So if you're watching this on Facebook or some other place, find our ScrewTube channels on our website, stfnreport.com. Now, this scientist from France that's been leading the way on hydroxychloroquine tells the world that, this drug has been around for years, decades. It's been prescribed to a third of the world, about 1 million times a year, easy. And there's just not a lot of reports of heart attacks or anything like that. But now all of a sudden, because it's a cheap treatment to COVID, all of the lobbies and the news media are coming in to try and, flake people out. And, most of the poor countries that can't afford anything but hydroxychloroquine, they're resisting well to this outbreak. But the libtard countries that are listening to, the New World Order and the like, and waiting for a vaccine, well, those people are dropping dead. And it's a crime. The whole thing is a crime. How they let this come in, how they didn't warn people, how they gave people the wrong advice. They're withholding treatment and drugs and protective equipment. All of these people, that are running world governments right now should be recalled instantly and imprisoned. And, all of their political parties disbanded completely, like the Nazis that they are. Ladies and gentlemen, 5G Crisis Summit coming up here in June, but every day is a crisis with the 4G, 5G, and the like. Trump says he has a high degree of confidence that the Wuhan lab was the origin of the virus. Now, yesterday, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, which is some kind of umbrella shill office, made a statement that this wasn't from a lab. So you can tell that they're part of the New World Order establishment trying to cover it up. And so ODNI should be disbanded as well as the FBI because of their criminal activity in numerous cases. And obviously, you know, the federal government should go back to its original purview, coining money, making treaties, you know, dealing with business. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is just too much power in one location. These people, as soon as they get an opportunity, they unleash a virus, they irradiate you, they gas you, they vaccinate you with toxic vaccines and chemicals. These people are serial killers, and they're in charge of a weapon system that we call the U.S. government. Trump has a high degree of confidence that the virus originated in a lab. Of course, all of this information is being censored. The Fauci connection is being censored and the like. And none of the relevant information is being put together, presented to the American people. It is a mass deception by all of the major news media networks. They're all guilty as charged. No court to hear it. It's only we the people that can take a stand. The plant located here in Indiana has 900 people testing positive, and you can bet there's more. And you can bet it's going to be like this in every major food plant. The farmers are pretty much, you know, slaughtering everything. And it's going to be interesting to see what, you know, the next wave looks like. Michigan Governor Whitmer extends coronavirus state of emergency declaration for another month. You know, she's trying to, you know, enact revenge on the poor sheeple out there for not worshiping her. And that's the way it is with these government demons, these demonic stooges that show up on television. They want to punish you and enslave you and kill you. These people are the enemy of the Republic. They are the enemy of the United States. And it doesn't matter if their shill crew, you know, stole the elections. They're not free and fair elections. They're not legitimate elections. These people are not legitimate. We have no legitimate democracy in this republic. And it needs to be, you know, it needs to be rebooted. We need to restart our republic. Donald Trump says he has seen evidence that the coronavirus started at the Wuhan virology laboratory. It's the same virus and the same laboratory that Fauci was funding on behalf of the Democrats. And, you know, you've got ODNI here trying to cover it up when it's just as obvious as you can be. As late as yesterday, how disingenuous and dangerous must these people be? Everybody should research into that, obviously. Death rate among black and Asians is 2.5 times higher than the white population. Now, that's being reported by the mainstream news. And, you know, it matches exactly the initial reports that we were getting as well. And people were like, no, that's fake news because this virus couldn't be racist. And yet it is. Walking to work in Michigan at the Capitol, another Operation Gridlock. And this is what people need to do. But we need more people, and we need, more decisive action. July 4th is the rendezvous. Take this country back. They wanted to suspend the 4th of July. They want to suspend America. They want to suspend our Constitution with their declaration of an emergency. Stafford Act. Just look it up. Trump, Emergency, Stafford Act. You'll see he did it. He suspended your rights, and you didn't even know it. It's only going to get worse, ladies and gentlemen. And this senator is complaining. Directly above me, men with rifles yelling at us. Some of my colleagues who own bulletproof vests are wearing them. Yeah, good luck with those rifles. Huh? But it's hard to say, who's actually showing up here. This kind of looks a little suggestive here. You got the Anton LaVey look, you got the SS look here. And, this isn't the typical American, but look, everybody's got a right to freedom. But you have to wonder. And you don't want, more of the same driving the revolution. We need the 3%. We need the real Americans out there. We need a Christian homeland before there are no Christians left, thanks to this indoctrination and programming that's being done by this New World Order, ladies and gentlemen. Trudeau. What a character. And a long line of pedophiles, too. Huge history of the occult here. Hardcore dark side. Prime sinister. Extraordinaire. Just when you thought he was a nice guy, here he comes. Taking away people's guns. Making them defenseless. What if the next Prime Sinister is a complete fucking Hitler? What will the people do then? Huh? Justine? Well, you just send him a little kids and he's happy. Just send him a few little children and he's happy as can be. Oh, these are your professionals. Yes, yes. This is why it costs so much. This is why healthcare costs so much. This is why there's so many medical malpractice cases in America. This is why life expectancy is going down, ladies and gentlemen. But it's just a reflection of society. Society has become idiocracy, and every, pretty much profession has become idiocracy. Looks like another lockdown is happening in China. Familiar scenes. Will this perpetual virus, this bioweapon, ever go away? Oh, and then here comes cunt extraordinaire, Nancy Pelosi. She's being we just almost have to play this. I'm not sure what the volume's going to be like, but
standard with how do
yeah, well, you're just going to have to watch this for yourself. But basically, a reporter asks her about the double standards between Kavanaugh and Joe Biden, the sex assault allegations. And of course, during the Kavanaugh thing, she just wanted to stop the process. She wanted a criminal investigation. She just couldn't bear swearing somebody in under those types of conditions. And here, you've got the creeps of all creeps. And she's like, Joe Biden is Joe Biden. And I don't need to be lectured about this shit from you. Literally. Crazy fucking bitch right there, third in line to be president. So you can bet that she's a big benefactor here if the White House gets infected. But they got the vaccine. They're all in on it, like a bunch of Charlie Manson groupies. Babylon B reports YouTube is removing all videos that don't begin with the Chinese national anthem. Of course, ScrewTube is a Chinese communist. Oh, for fuck's sakes, the video guy. But lots of child labor out there in China. They start them young. It's very disturbing. Who's benefiting from COVID-19? The usual suspects. Oh, look at this. Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. Everything's fine. There's your pandemic. People have been filming the hospitals for quite some time, wondering where is everybody? Well, now we know. Now we know, ladies and gentlemen. Journalist jailed for 15 years in China. The charge? Picking quarrels and provoking trouble. Spreading rumors, they say. And, who's the one that's spreading the lies? It's not just the communist Chinese. It's the communist Americans as well. The communist news network. And all of these Judases in disguise that make you think they're conservatives, Republicans, and on your side. But in fact, they're not. They're betraying you, telling you what you want to hear, yet stabbing you in the back. All patriots need to organize at their state capitals, focus on your state, get your state back. There's a reason why there's 50 states in America, ladies and gentlemen. And it's because we're not meant to be run by Washington, D.C. You know, it's we the people that made this federal government. It's not the federal government that made the states or the people. Remember that. And that pretty much brings us back to yesterday's broadcast. Should check that out on the video archives. It's just extraordinary what we've gone through as a nation and what we will continue to go through until the purge. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have to leave it there for this broadcast. Find us at stfnreport.com. Send us a message if you like. Until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this, you are the resistance.